All right, everybody. Welcome to this week's Tuesday special Zoom. My name is Melissa Brower, and we are joined tonight with some of our wonderful family leadership to all participate on our Diamond Ambassadors Night Off for this evening. So we're going to do something a little different. And there are 5 of us tonight that are going to kind of freestyle it and answer some questions that we came up with that we thought might be of value to everybody, regardless of your journey. Where you are in your journey with HBN, this might be great information for you. So you might want to take notes because you're going to hear it from 5 completely different voices tonight. So these are the questions that we're going to be asking. So obviously, we have Major Marcus Jones joining us tonight. You can see him on camera. I don't see let's see here. Let me look on my other screen here. We have Coach Sonic Jones, who's on camera. Hello, Sonic. Miss Akua, are you on camera yet? And we have Miss Charlotte Whitaker, who I know she was getting her hair done earlier to prepare for this because she was all excited about being on camera tonight. So, you can't take Charlotte, too far from the spotlight. So we're going to be hearing from her as well. So this is how this is going to work. Each and every one of us is going to do a brief introduction because we recognize there's a lot of new people on these calls that may not necessarily know all of our backgrounds. You might tune into some calls and not others just because of time. So each of us is going to give you a little bit about our background, about why, we got into this industry in the first place, and why HBN is the place to be and stay. And then this is where it's going to get fun. Everybody's going to have the same 5 questions to answer. So I'm going to read them once for everybody to hear so you kind of know the overall process of this. And then as each co-host answers their questions, they can reference them as they go. So the first question that everybody's going to be asked is, what are their 2 favorite book recommendations? Because if you've been plugging into the Sunday night leadership calls and some of the Tuesday trainings, we have a resource list of some fabulous references to help you with not just personal development, but also business building. So each of the panelists tonight are going to basically talk about their 2 favorites. They don't have to go in detail, but just mention them. So you guys are going to want to write that down. So one of the books would be their favorite personal development book. And then the other one, what is their favorite book for their network marketing business? Okay, so hopefully we'll hear some different answers than what is on the resource list. The question number 2 is going to be, what is their best business building tip? And it could be anything. Everybody has full creative liberty here. Question number 3 is, what one thing did you wish you would have known sooner? And this should be some interesting answers. Question number 4 is going to be, what is your greatest piece of advice for a new rep? And this last question, if you could recruit any fictional character into your network marketing team, who would it be and why? So I can't wait to hear those answers. So what I'm going to do is she doesn't know this, but I'm going to volunteer the wonderful and beautiful Miss Akua Asset to go first, because I figured she'd rather go first than last. And I don't know if I'm right about that or not, Akua, but you got recruited to go first. So I'm going to mute myself. I figured you wouldn't want to follow Charlotte because So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and you can take it over and just kind of revisit those questions and answer as you go. And then the second person will be Coach Sonic, and then Miss Charlotte, and then Marcus, and then myself. So we're going to go girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Okay. So take it away, Miss Asset.
I had a feeling we would go alphabetically. How is everyone this evening? So good to see all my fellow rock stars. Hi, everybody. Let me see. We've got a lot of people on tonight. So I'm Akua Asset. Akua means the sweet messenger. And I take that seriously. I every time I get on social media, my goal is to inspire and deliver a good message. So what's my background? Depends on when you met me. Some people know me as a celebrity makeup artist. I worked in Hollywood intimately with over 100 celebrities, painted thousands of faces. as a makeup artist, and got involved into holistic health because I, around 30 years old, started not to feel well and just really looked into that. And it led me down a path of living plant-based. And let's see, I'm based in Chicago. I'm a mother of two grown girls, Bianca and Jasmine, 30, 35. And what else could I share? I got into network marketing. It's funny. In my teens and 20s, I always wanted to be a fashion designer. And I was looking for a job. And I saw this ad for an image consultant. And long story short, it ended up being Beauty Control. How many of you have heard of Beauty Control? But it's a network marketing company. It was my very first network marketing company. And what I loved about it was the personal development, you know, being someone who's always been involved in some kind of enterprising project. Like, I've never really been a 9-to-5 job person. So network marketing was perfect for me. And even working as a makeup artist in the Hollywood industry, I've always had some, off and on, I've always had some connection with the network marketing. And I think it's because of the personal development. Why HBN? So let's see, so I've been with Beauty Control. That was my first network marketing company, based in Texas. And at the time they were offering image consulting, cosmetic, skincare, and all of that. So that was actually something that got me into the makeup industry. I was with Amway for quite a while, built a nice organization with Amway. Awesome company, wonderful. I would really credit Amway. Worldwide Dream Builders was the business development aspect of that, but I would credit that with a lot of the skills that I have today with, you know, just being intentional and just the mindset, the metaphysics of everything. You know, that's when I first read all of the books that we've heard of, The Richest Man in Babylon, you know, that whole genre of book reading. After Amway, it was ACN. How many of you have heard of ACN? Right? After ACN, I think, nope. After that, I was with IML for a while. And that's how I met the person that introduced me to HBN. And I feel like all of those experiences led me to really taking advantage of Heart and Body Naturals. This is the first company that I ever had the financial success. This was the first company that I actually understood the pay plan. And because I was literally making money, not knowing why or where it was coming from, like in the first, you know, month or two. And for me, the key is our formulator, Alexandria Brighton. In fact, when I first heard about HBN, I asked about essential oils, and when I found out who she was, and that's whole story, I was just sold. So it's been over 3 years now, and I cannot imagine my life without HBN and these products. They've probably saved my life in the last 3 years. So what are the other questions, Melissa? Can you just lead me through the two books?
Sure.
The two books.
Yeah.
I would recommend Atomic Habits. Powerful book. I would grab that book, download the audio, and just do both at the same time. Business book, actually a book called Rich and Righteous. And I love that book because, and it's written by Julian Gordon, and I love that book because it really shows you, like, really no matter what your religious or spiritual walk is, it takes scripture and really applies it to wealth and how to be rich and righteous. Because I believe a lot of people think you have to be either or, not at all. Let's see, the other question. what fictional character would I choose to sponsor, was it? Or have in my business? Oh, you're muted.
Okay, if you want to go in order, question number 2 is what's your best business building tip?
Oh, best business building tip. I'll go back to what really made me successful in the beginning of me joining HBN, and that was to find a product that you really, really love and that you can't shut up about, that you're passionate about, that you can share unselfishly. You know, one of the things that turns me off about people in the network marketing industry is that it's all about them. And it's an energy you can't hide. And so if you're really passionate about a product and you really are in the spirit of just sharing to help someone else, like, people can feel that. So I would say find a product that you absolutely love and are passionate about, and really make it about them, not about you getting your people or you reaching your goals, but really what the product can do in this person's life. Any other questions?
Number 3 is what one thing did you wish you would have known sooner?
I had a good question. I had a good answer about this. What do I wish I'd known sooner? I mean, I feel like everything really unfolded perfectly. The only thing that I didn't know when I signed up with HBN is about the value pack. When you purchase a value pack, any wholesale commissions that you earn, you don't get 20, you actually get 30. So my first couple of purchases were not value packs, but once I bought a value pack, yeah, 30. So that's the one thing, but otherwise everything just unfolded beautifully.
Okay. Next question is what's your greatest piece of advice for a new rep?
Going back to the first business advice, let it not be about you when you're sharing this. Really connect with people. When you connect with people, ask how they're doing. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is people in my inbox launching into what they want from me. Like, let's remember manners and just check in with people and like really care about how they're doing. Because a lot of times when you actually connect with people and find out what's going on with them, their need is going to come up organically. And you can say, oh, well, I've got this. And so now you've literally answered someone's prayer. And yeah, and it was really just about you connecting authentically with people. So yeah, that for sure.
All right. And the last question for you.
Okay, I remember
if you could recruit any fictional character into your network marketing team, who would it be and why?
How many of you all saw the movie Don Juan DeMarco with Johnny Depp? So how many even, let me know in the comments if you see that movie. No? Yeah, so Johnny Depp played Don Juan, the lover. And so he had this mystical effect on women. So I know if Don Juan DeMarco was in my business, he'd have all the ladies using all of the products. So yes, Don Juan DeMarco.
Fabulous, Akua. Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.
Your answers are wonderful. You're wonderful. So, all right, up next is the one and only Coach Sonic Jones. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. Do you have the questions or do you also need me to read them to you as we go? I'm happy to do either.
I do have the questions.
Okay, then take it away.
I will tell you the worst thing about not being first is you might sound like you copying the first person's answers when you have the same thing. So, but great minds think alike. So I will go through my answers as written. I know the first thing was introduction. For those who don't know me, my name is Sonic Jones. I'm originally from New York, born and raised in the projects of the Bronx. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. We probably had a plastic spork where I grew up. It was in some of y'all, yeah, cool, you remember that scene. All right, so some of y'all can relate to that. But I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here for the last 17 years. Moved here when my son was born a few months after he was born, and he'll be turning 18 in September. I have been in the industry of network marketing since 1996. I was introduced when I was a junior in college, but I did not join because I thought it was one of those things. I was listening to what my mother taught me growing up, and I refused. I told the dude, "You going to jail? I'm not doing it. I'm way too pretty to be going to jail." And so I totally ignored him. But he was a good friend of mine. He was a year ahead of me. We were both biology majors at Hampton University. Shout out to the HU, the real HU. But he came back to visit me my senior year. Totally different. He was dressed in a custom suit. He had a pair of gaiters on, briefcase, new car, and I was like, "What happened to you?" And he was like, "You remember the business we talked about?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You should probably sit down with me." I'm like, "We don't got to sit down. I'm in, because if you could do it, I know I could do it." That was my thought pattern. And ironically, Akua, the company was ACN. The company was American Communications Network. I got trained by some of the best trainers out there. Regional vice president in that company. Had a lot of success as a young 21, 22-year-old, and made some of the mistakes that 21 and 22-year-olds do when they make a lot of money and start spending a lot of money as well. But you know, I've been in a few network marketing companies. Before HBN, I was in the travel. I still am in the travel industry as well. Became a travel agent about 10 years ago. Entered that space because I love traveling, and for some reason I was always the person who everybody came to, like, "Can you book a flight for me, or can you do this?" And then I realized, well, I could get paid for doing that for free. It made sense to me, so I got into travel space. Became very successful there. In my first travel company, became probably one of the top 25 earners in the entire company. And in my current company, once hit the top 40 out of over 40,000 people in the company. So I've been doing fairly well in this industry for a while. Like Akua, I found out early on that 9 to 5 was not my thing. I didn't like being told what to do. However, I did work, you know, for a while. I was an educator as well. I still do some teaching. As a matter of fact, I talked to Melissa on the way from leaving Morehouse School of Medicine, training the doctors there today. And that's my background. Now, I got into HBN, and ironically, it was the right place at the right time. Now, I might say some things that's pretty unpopular right now, but I'm gonna always tell people my truth. I will say that I love network marketing. I love the industry, but I never wanted to do products, especially health and wellness stuff, because the companies that I had been exposed to before, to me, were like overpriced stuff that I felt people can get in Walmart or Amazon or whatever. And I never want to subjected my team to that. And make them feel like they have to sell these overpriced products. Well, getting introduced to HBN, I really started learning about the products, but more importantly, it came at the right place at the right time. I had finally, Lord, finished like a 4-year-long, 5-year-long bitter divorce. And as a result of the divorce, I'm gonna just get personal. I wound up getting stress-induced rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's disease, lupus, high blood pressure, like you name it. And I needed something for my body. And so when this came around and I really started to kind of dive into the products, I got a little excited. As I told people on a previous Zoom, it was then that I had a conversation with Will Zanders, and you know, we connected instantaneously because he reminded me so much of me. I've never had a sponsor that that cared the way that I cared. I'm just going to be transparent. I've never had every sponsor that I've ever been in business with, including the one that got me into HBN originally. Glad he's gone now, and I rolled up to Will. But I've beaten to the top of the company, and so it was refreshing to have this leadership where I felt like I don't have to do everything. They're already doing calls. He's already a great trainer. Like I can kind of relax a little bit. But it wasn't until I got on a Zoom and I learned that HBN pays people to lose weight. I've never heard of something so crazy in my life. I was like, you want to pay me for the weight that I want to lose anyway? It's game over. And I'm a New Yorker. So I was going for the money. So they said, all right, drop 50 pounds in 90 days. No problem. I went ahead, I set my goal and I did that. I dropped 70 pounds in 90 days. I collected the $500. I was very, very excited. But the more and more I was taking the products outside of just to lose weight, learning, as some of you guys have seen the product Zoom that Will and I did, that was when I first got started, and just kind of interviewing him and learning about the products. And like Akua said, just learning about Alexandria Bright and how she formulates things. I can tell you that since September 12th, when I really started, I consider that my official start date. That's when I started my weight loss challenge and, really taking the products and everything else. I hadn't had one flare from any of the diseases that I had. And when I went to the rheumatologist back in, where are we at, June? So back in April, I had been cleared of everything. No more lupus, no more rheumatoid arthritis, no more high blood pressure, no more pre-diabetes. And the only thing that he said that I showed a marker for still was Sjogren's disease, but I was having no symptoms of it. And so I was a firm believer in the products. And so to answer the question of why HBN is the place to be and the place to stay is because we have products like nobody else out there. I can, like when Akua said that they probably saved her life, I can say clearly these products saved my life. And so I'm excited to be here. My flag is planted here. I told all my crew, I was like, we're not going nowhere. We have the leadership, we have the pay plan, we have we have everything that we need to truly become successful here long term. And so I'm excited to be here. The rest is quick. I'll go fast. My two favorite book recommendations. Growing up in this industry, we were always taught that Your First Year Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell is considered the Bible of this industry. And so it's definitely a book that I suggest all my new people to read. But more importantly, and I've never heard anybody in HBN mention this book. One of my favorite books, and it's an easy read, and I started actually recommending this to people before Your First Year Network Marketing. It's called Top 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and Middle Class. It's by Keith Cameron Scott. Actually had the opportunity to meet him and do some training with him as well. And he has a couple of other books, but that book was so just life-changing, and it really just sparked some things in me and made me really see how things are. And then it makes you kind of compare yourself. Nobody wants to be poor or the middle class. So it almost forces you to start thinking like a wealthy person as well. So those are definitely the two books that I would recommend. Best business building tip: share stories and share them often. And then learn the skills, but more importantly, apply them. So I've had people that say, well, I'm going to try the products first, Sonic, see if I lose weight. And if they see me lose weight, then I'll share with people. You don't got to do that. There's so many people that have lost weight with these products. You don't have to say, it don't have to be your story. Share stories and then share them often. Why? Because we know that consistency of doing the right things in this business is one skill set to becoming successful, right? And then learning the skills. And that's what Will has been doing over these last few months, is really teaching people basic skill sets, and advanced skill sets, by the way. But the key is applying them as well. It's one thing to take a bunch of notes. It's another thing to apply the notes that we take. And so I tell people, I would have arguments with people all day. Well, knowledge is power. And I'm like, that is absolutely incorrect. Applied knowledge is power. So I want you guys to be able to apply the knowledge that you're learning. And I think that will make a big, big difference in your business building if you choose to do that part of the business. One thing that I wish I would have known sooner. Here we go, Akua. Get the VP pack right away. First thing, I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know if you've watched this playback, but I'm gonna tell you what Will did to me. Will said, you got to be on 100 CV auto ship. Okay, well, I set it up. I put my auto ship in. And then after my stuff is shipped, he says, you need to get a VP pack. I'm like, bro, I just bought like 100 or something. Why am I going to do? If you would have told me that in the beginning. So if I would have known that first, I would have definitely bought that stuff first and still gotten everything that I wanted in the VP pack. So definitely. And he said to me, and I'm like, why? Why do I got to buy a VP pack? He said, Sonic, it's a difference between 20 and 30%, which may not seem like a lot until it's the difference between $20,000 and $30,000. And I was like, you know what? Let me go get this daggone VP pack. And I did. And I haven't looked back. I'm so glad we only had to do it once. Everybody, you just got to do it one time. So definitely would have gotten a VP pack had I known that earlier. Greatest piece of advice for a new rep that I can give. Become a believer in the products by taking them consistently and creating your story. You can't get me away from, there's no way you can stop me from taking my healing trilogy, because I know what it has done for me in my life. I know how it has saved me. I know how it has not had a flare when I was having them 3-4 times a week before HBN products. To never having one again, can't stop. You can't stop me if you wanted to. Seriously, like if something is to happen to HBN, I'm finding Alexandria and she's gonna start making some stuff for me. I don't know. We gonna have, there's gonna be a fight or something. But yeah, take the products, become a believer in the products by taking them consistently and creating your story, because that will allow you to really, like Akua was saying, have that belief. And once you believe in something, it's so much easier to share. We're not salespeople. We're not salespeople. I had somebody come to me today and say, I'm just a horrible salesperson and everything. I don't need you to be a great salesperson. I need you to take the products. I need you to take the products, right? And then last but not least, if we could recruit any fictional character into your network marketing team, who would it be and why? My original thought was like the Wolf of Wall Street. Like I just wanted somebody crazy, right? But this is gonna sound crazy to y'all, but I wound up going with the Black Panther. Here's why. We have some things in common. We both love technology. We both fight for our people. We both believe in the people and do what's necessary to protect them. And it's a whole new market share. I could take over Wakanda. So why not? I know he's gonna become a diamond. So yeah. That I'm going for Black Panther before anybody else says. So I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Melissa.
That's such a great answer. I love it. Thank you so much. Those were just, I hope you guys are taking notes, because those were some nuggets right there. All right, Miss Charlotte, you up and ready? I know you got a lot to say, because I've never known you not to have a lot to say. So the floor is yours, girl. You need me to read the questions, or you got them?
Well, I think I got them.
All right, take it away.
Okay, everybody. First of all, hello to all of you beautiful people out there. We have over 60 people on the call tonight. Most of you know that I'm retired military. I did 25 years in the military. I love network marketing. I've been in network marketing for several years. Now you guys gonna make me almost exploit my age again, which I'm always saying that I'm 19. Anyway, I did join the military back in 1978. And in the process that I joined Amway, like Sonic and Akua did. And I did great. I thought that was the best thing since Rin Tin Tin. I invested in their shoe polish. They had this spray shoe polish, and I didn't have to shine my boots. And we were wearing those black leather boots. So I bought cases and cases of that black, shiny stuff for everybody to use on their boots. And we had just had an formation. And guess what? It rained. By the time the sergeant came over to inspect us, our boots had white splatters on it, like someone had poured bleach on it. I lost a lot of sales on my spit shine boots. So we was back to using shoe polish again. I also ran track until I was 38 years old. Of course, my husband think still a track runner. And don't feel bad about being divorced, Sonny, because I'm on my third marriage. Oh, it's been 25 years. He's still with me. He is still with me. And I say it like that because I am not an easy person to get along with, even though everybody think I'm the sweetest person in the world. But sometimes after doing 6 years of drill sergeant instead of 3, it still gets in me and I have to lower my voice and the tone of my voice. I'm into a lot of veterans events, and that's a passion for me. I love being at those events that they have. It also helps me it helps me prospect being a member of those groups. I do a whole lot. I've spent most of my life raising kids. Since I've been here in Georgia, I think I've raised about 16 kids. I still have custody of 3 small boys now. So all my energy goes into put that electronic down. You're gonna die from cancer. How long have you been on that tablet? How long have you been on that phone? Get outside. You know, I got a big yard, so I don't have to worry about the kids going off or somebody snatching them up because they got to deal with me if they do. I take care of a lot of senior citizens, and I cook for the homeless for 350 to 400 people in my own house once a month. Get plenty of exercise markers because it's 4 floors in this house. So I'm up and down on each floor. And I'm a caregiver for my sister. With that first question that you asked us, Melissa, my personal development book is The Law of Attraction. If you have not read any, they have several books on law of attraction. I'm presently reading the one by Mark Glenn. It will basically change your life, your thoughts, your thinkings, and your habits that you're having now. And for business, everybody should have that book called Icebreaker. Kid you not. That Icebreaker book ain't no joke. It'll save you a lot of words when you're doing presenting, when you're supposed to be building rapport. Number 2, my best business building tip. The best business building tip I can give for you guys is talk. When you see somebody, now most of you go to a store. Most of you go somewhere. You pump gas, you do several things. Say hi. How are you? How are you doing? Open your mouth and speak. You don't know if you're going to see that person again. And when you're going in grocery stores and different things, I know that a lot of people is quitting jobs and they got different people coming in to work. Speak to them, get to know them, build that relationship up. Let them know who you are. They see the same person speaking to them all the time. Pretty soon there's going to be a conversation. Got me? I know y'all can hear me out there. I'm acting like I'm talking to you sitting right here in front of me. But your mouth is the best product that you have on your body because words really do resonate. Don't let nobody pass by me with no limp because I'm going to run right up to them and say, what you done did to that leg? Hold the conversation. You don't have to start doing a presentation from the jump because you want to build that rapport up. Once you speak and say what you got to say, let that person talk because they're going to tell you what's going on with them and they might tell you some other things. I'm going to go to number 3. What was number 3?
All right, number 3 was, what one thing did you wish you would have known sooner?
Oh, one thing that I wish I had known sooner was not to be uh 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 uh, uh jump. Okay, I'm in a business now. I got a business now, and I'm getting ready to go and get everything done, and I'm ready to go. I ain't jumped on nobody's Zoom. I ain't listened to nobody talk. I'm getting phone calls say, hey, you ain't been on this Zoom, and there's some new people on this call. You know that when you first got in this business, that you wasn't jumping on those Zooms. I say, why should I jump on a Zoom? You know, what are they gonna tell me? All I wanted was the products. Number one, when I joined the business, I did not want to do a business. I just wanted the products. I ducked the girl that sponsored me for 3 months because I didn't want to do another business. I had done enough business. I had not made no money. I had spent a lot of money out of my pocket buying products, buying products. The only reason I wanted these products, because being a veteran, between me and my husband, we have enough pills. We had enough pills to start our own pharmacy because the VA will keep you splashed. I had been a medical mistake for 3 times. I have done a lot of network marketing. I just hadn't made any money. I was just spending a lot of money. But when I looked at the video that she finally sent and caught me off guard to look at, it really made sense having liquid and paddle and oil-like products as opposed to pills, because during that time, I was deep into Metaluca, and Metaluca has nighttime pills and daytime pills. They're all vitamins. And man, gobbling all those daggone things down my throat all the time was a nightmare. And they were big pills. You got to swallow them. Don't get one stuck in your throat right here and it ain't going down. That's a nightmare. I don't have to do that no more. I wish I had got on the Zooms from the beginning, which it doesn't matter now because I've been in long enough where I could repeat some of the things that Marcus say, Landis say, Melissa say, and Will say. When they say what is repeated is remembered and what's remembered is repeated, believe it. Believe it. And when the time comes for you to use some of those quotes or statements that they said, it will be on the top of your brains. Question number 4 is, what?
Your greatest piece of advice for a new rep.
The greatest piece of advice is, remember, the presentation is last. The presentation is last. Don't get with someone and do an entire presentation. Build your rapport. Let them know who you are. Listen to them. Hear what they have to say. People are going to tell you where they are. I'll give you a good example. One of the team members called me and said, hey, I need you to talk to this lady. I said, okay, I will. She talked to me for about 2 hours. But by the time she got finished, I could give her the whole history of her life. And it gave me the chance to say, would it be okay if I help you out a little bit? And if you didn't have to do all of these things that you're doing, and you can work from home and not be tied up with all of the things that you're doing, would you like to have more information on that? She said, girl, if you can show me a way where I ain't got to go to work and I ain't got to do this and that, and I can just work from home, I will be more than grateful. So I sent her one of Marcus' 6 steps to 6 figures. Then I sent her one of Marcus' Thursday night opportunity call. She ended up calling me back and said, hey, I'm ready to sign up. So give people a chance to talk, build a rapport with them, listen to them, talk more to people when it's your turn to talk. And for God's sake, if you're doing a three-way with somebody, make sure you put your mic on mute and don't cut and interrupt, because it makes people lose their training thought. Number 5, question, right? My character, my
Yes,
character,
ma'am.
my character is a girl named Hermione Granger, and she's from a Harriet Potter series. She's a very smart, mature, ambitious young girl, and she reminds me a little bit of myself. She have her own pre-owned opinions like I do, and everything that comes to her, she takes it at face value. Even through discrimination, she didn't let it destroy her dignity. And she's a funny little girl, but she's lively, she's grateful, and she's caring. And that's the end of my story.
Miss Charlotte, that was fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing. And I hope everybody took a ton of notes with all those nuggets you dropped.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rockstar. All right, Major Marcus, are you up and ready to go, sir?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, so the mic is yours.
Thank you for inviting me to be a guest on the panel. It's hard to follow up after Nakua and then Sonic. You know, he's like, man. And then Charlotte's always hard to come after her because she has so much energy. But I won't take too much time, but just a little bit about myself. I grew up playing sports a lot of my life. Ended up being fortunate enough to get a football scholarship, and so I went to college in Arizona, in Flagstaff, Arizona. I was there, but then I had dreams of possibly playing professionally, and things were being set up, and our family knew some people that were scouts in the NFL, and so things were going as I thought as planned. Then I hurt my knee, and so once I injured my knee in college, I stopped playing. Gave the scholarship up, went back home. I had to get a job, right, and to finish up school. So I worked part-time, went to school part-time. So I eventually earned my degree in psychology, and then still didn't have a plan. I'm the first person in my family to have their degree. And so graduate school, I get hired with State Farm Insurance. And so in Bloomington, Illinois, I grew up in Los Angeles. So I'm living in Los Angeles. I was a claim adjuster, right? State Farm liked to hire athletes who like to compete, because that being a claim adjuster, you have to like conflict and, like to fast pace. So I did that, but after that, I was good at my job, and my managers, they were like, you need to promote up and become somebody's boss, like become a leader. I didn't want that. I'm like, I don't want to manage people and babysit people, and be in charge of somebody and watch the clock. And then my wife was like, you know what, you really need to listen. So anyway, I took some additional classes, got some certifications in insurance. I got promoted, and then I received 2 promotions in 6 months with State Farm, which was rare for somebody of my hue, my color, being promoted there, because they were typically a company that didn't really promote people that look like me, if you know what I mean. So anyway, fast forward, I get promotions, and then in 2007, I left State Farm, went to a different company, moved from California to Texas. And a friend of a family member had contacted me and said, hey, so-and-so referred me to you because he said you would be a good person to talk to about this travel deal, right? with a company called YTB. I don't know if you guys remember remember them. This 2007. And he's like, hey, you can get paid to travel. I'm like, get paid to travel? That's cool. So signed up, paid like $500 to join. And I only got involved because I wanted to be able to get travel discounts. And then also wanted to be able to legally reduce my taxes. And so didn't really know about network marketing back then. Didn't know what network marketing was because it was just shared with me about, hey, you sign up, get a website, you refer people there, you get paid commissions, get travel discounts. But I started going to events in Texas, and I started meeting people that worked in corporate jobs, but then they would do these trainings and host these meetings. These people were making like $50,000, $60,000 a month. And some of them were making more than I made in a whole year. And so that was when I discovered, the power of network marketing. Still didn't know what I was doing. I was only trained on that company and only them. They didn't really talk about reading books, and they just wanted to pass this magazine out, and just sign up other people. So I signed up some people, outranked my sponsor, right? And so I ended up moving to a different travel company. I got to a juice company. And then 2011 was when I got involved, really took up my health and wellness seriously when my dad just died from a heart attack, and I was almost 300 pounds. And I went from, I played wide receiver in college. I was 175 pounds, weighing almost 300 pounds. And so my dad just dropped dead, didn't expect him to die from a heart attack. So I joined this other company. I knew I needed to lose weight. So I lost weight, lost like 80 pounds in like 2 years. And along the way, became a certified personal trainer. I started using Facebook to share like advice and stuff like that. So that's how I got involved in the health and wellness space. I was with my last company called Skinny Body Care. I was with them for almost 8 years. And so they have eventually were acquired by a different company at the end of 2018. And in January of 2019 was when my sponsor at that time had told me he knew Paula. And he knew she started this company called HBN. He sent me a link on February 4th, 2019. I signed up. And I just signed up because it was free, free tour. Didn't cost anything to sign up. Didn't really know much about Paula, didn't know about the products. And fast forward now, that's why I'm here, is because of the the product. So that's how I ended up here with HBN. As far as why I think HBN is the place to be is our leadership is strong. Paula and Ben and Alexandra, they're great. And what I like about them is they're behind the scenes. They're not trying to be the face of HBN. Or Paula allows us to be the one to, carry out her mission. Right? We want to make sure we have great products for people, and also want to make sure for those who are building the business are getting paid good, right? So, and also debt free. We don't owe anyone anything. So there's no investors. You also don't have to worry about these leaders coming and joining the company and bringing a team to get in like special spots, right? And get positions. Paula won't do that, right? We're all about the products first, which is why 80% of our members are customers. So they don't even participate in the pay plan. And so I think that's why HBN is a place to be. As far as my favorite books outside of the Bible, that's my favorite book. But as far as personal development, The Millionaire Next Door, that book right there is something that I try to pattern myself after that book by not looking like by not looking like I wear my wealth or I wear my success. I walk around with t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops, mostly every day. And so people have no idea that, I probably earn what I earn, because I do still work my full-time job. I'm in a leadership position. I get paid well there. And HBN also pays me well. So no, I'm probably in the top, whatever percentage of earners, you know, in the United States, but I don't want to look like I don't wear my wealth. I'm more to being undercover, low key, have one car, right? We don't have like 5 cars. We live in a nice house, but it's not the biggest house. It's not the most expensive house on the block. And so The Millionaire Next Door is a book I encourage everyone to read that, because once you start earning that income with HBN, you don't want to fall prey to lifestyle creep, right? That's where you have your lifestyle match your income, right? You want to be able to build wealth so that when you leave this earth, you pass on to your kids and their kids, and you pass it on. As far as business building, we received this book in Las Vegas. For those who attended the event in Las Vegas, it's how to build your network marketing nutrition business fast by Tom Big Al Schreiber, right? And so I like that book. It has some icebreakers, right? Just some comments that are probably, or statements that are shared in icebreakers. I like that book because you can use some of his Big Al's words. You can use those in posts. You can, do videos with those. Some of my presentations I use, I get the statements from that book or from other Tom Big Al books, right? So that book is really good. It's called How to Build Your Network Marketing Nutrition Business Fast, right? I think it's like for $5. Business. What was the second one? Business building tip. I have my notes right here. I just wrote down answers. But
the second one was the best business building tip.
Okay. This is indirectly related to building the business, but you want to be, as far as when you see people who make a lot of money, they make a lot of money because of the value that they provide, or the value they give. And so you want to focus on building trust, because most of us are using social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is. You want to give value. For years, I wasn't always called Coach Marcus. I didn't even call myself that, right? I let little kids. I coach youth sports. I let kids, but they call me Coach Jones. They didn't call me Coach Marcus. So back in 2013, people on Facebook started calling me Coach Marcus, because after I lost weight, I was sharing like workout tips, recipes, money tips, different things. So my Facebook friends back at that time, they started calling me Coach. And so that's because I was always focused on like putting out so much content and different posts and doing videos on YouTube, and giving away so much value for free. Because I knew that when I did offer something like a product, or somebody joined HBN or my last company, I had that I built up so much goodwill that people trusted me, right? And so you guys want to focus on giving away and adding value, but find your niche. Like find something you want to be focus on. So, and then the number 3, what did I wish I knew sooner? As far as with HBN, doing 100 PV to qualify for the star bonus and getting a VP pack, right? My wife joined, she got a VP pack before me, and she's earning like 30%. I'm like, how is she earning 30%? I'm not. And then my sponsor at that time, he didn't tell me anything, and so I figured it out. So I did that. But as far as as far as business, what I wish I would have known sooner in my network marketing career was being committed to personal development. Reading the books, watching the videos, and also being committed to learning to becoming a professional at network marketing, by knowing what words to say, what things to do. And so, and then what's the tip? Thing I had notes too, Melissa. What number 4, I think Charlotte hit on the head. She said she sent the videos to the person that wanted to learn how to earn income. And what I encourage you guys who are newer is you don't have to know everything, right? You're not going to know everything. You're not going to know about all 130 products. But the less you talk, the more you guys are going to make. And what I mean by that is use the tools we have to help share what you want to share about HBN, right? The training is good to share, so people can see that when they join us, that's the type of support they'll have, And then the business opportunity zones are simply tools you can have to show people why you say yes. And so, and all we do, we simply use products we believe in, and we should share them with people we care about. So the less you talk, the more you're going to make, and use the tools we have. And then my fictional character is don't laugh, it's Santa Claus, because I picked Santa Claus. It was like, he goes around the world giving away gifts, and like we give away the gift of health, and we give away the gift to show people how they can get paid. And who can Santa Claus not, and who can say no to Santa Claus? You know what I mean? I thought about Tony Stark, but Tony Stark, he's kind of a jerk sometimes. He could turn some people off. He's rich, flying around, in his iron suit, but he can kind of like turn some folks off, and no. But Santa Claus, I mean, he's the one who can say no. Santa Claus is great, and so that's, people trust him. You know what I mean? And so he seems to just one. Yeah, he has rapport. That's what he has, and so, and he's well known too. And so that's it, you guys. But thanks.
Man, you're going to make me follow Santa Claus? That's a great answer, Marcus. I mean, you're right. No one would ever say no to Santa Claus. I mean, and we'd have a bunch of elves in our business too, and they'd be like just helping bust out more products. I love it. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I have notes too, Marcus. So I'm very similar to you in that sense, because I got to keep my thoughts organized. All right. So stick with us a couple more minutes, because I'll try to be quick, but I hope you guys have gotten value from this. So my name is Melissa Brower, and my background was in traditional medicine. So I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just like Marcus, from Pittsburgh. And I was also the first person in my family to get a degree and to really go into that realm of, I guess you could say, success because of my medical career. So I was a PA, a physician assistant, for 23 years in the New Orleans area, because after grad school, I moved south. And, I really enjoy listening to everybody's stories, because the common denominator is none of us had this easy, and when I look back on my life and I think of the person that I was back then compared to who I am now and who I always am evolving into, I mean, I was a hot mess, because, I had that mentality of playing now, not realizing I was going to have to pay later. So all that success in my medical career, and I always wanted to know how the human body worked. It was a big puzzle to me. So, learning as much as I can about anatomy, physiology, all of that stuff was always so fascinating to me. But what I didn't anticipate, as much as I loved medicine, I didn't anticipate how much medicine was going to change, because I started practicing in '97. And when I left medicine and retired the end of 2018, it had changed so much. And for the last few years, before I decided I just can't do this anymore, how you just get this sick feeling in your stomach when you just know you're not in the right place where you're supposed to be on your journey in life. And that's how I felt, because I felt like patients just weren't getting better. They were existing, but they weren't living. And I specialized in interventional pain management. So I was taking care of chronic pain patients, and, I would try my best to make a difference and help people restore their function and their quality of life and live their life. But you only had so many tools in the toolbox. And people would ask, way back when about natural products, and I didn't know because we weren't trained on it. So it was always this fascination that just continued to kind of, the flame inside of me just got bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter. And it just got to the point where I was like, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So leaving medicine, also coincided, and I have to relate to Sonic's story because, really strange things happen after or during a divorce. So, yep, been there, did that twice. But at that particular time of my life, while all these changes were happening in my medical career, and I was really dissatisfied and knowing I wanted more out of life, I was also going through a bad divorce, went through a bankruptcy, car repossession, foreclosure. I mean, you name it. I've been there, done that, because I lived that lifestyle of playing hard, not realizing I was going to pay for it later. And this was, pre-personal growth, Melissa, when you don't realize the pendulum always swings in both directions. So that huge swing that hit back then, it's like, then comes network marketing, like this, like shiny object syndrome into my life. So it occurred at the peak of me being the hottest mess ever. Because I needed something as an escape. And when I first got involved in the industry, I was with 2 previous companies before HBN. I didn't know what I was doing, but I saw it as my escape strategy. I saw it as the way out. I was very attracted to the personal growth. I was very attracted, obviously, to the financial freedom and to the networking and just really, truly being able to help people for the right reasons, because health is your wealth. So that's what got me into the industry. Why HBN is the place to be and stay is, with all the changes that are happening in our world today, with, big pharma, all the chemicals that are in the air and our foods and all these things that, unless you're really paying attention to it, health is your wealth. And I have never been so impressed with a product line like I have with HBN products. And I still consider myself an eternal student because I'm learning every day. But when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the ingredients that Alexandria has put in these products, they are going to save lives. People just don't realize the significance of what we have our hands on yet. But mark my words, our products, special just doesn't even do justice in describing them. They are truly blessings because they will save lives. Okay, so that's my first thing. All right, my question number 1 was, my 2 books. So I was always a huge Bob Proctor fan. So my number 1 personal development book is You Were Born Rich. That has always been my go-to. It was really my first book on my personal growth journey. And it's one that I go back to frequently, both in the written book as well as listening to the Audible. As far as a business book, I mean, it's easy to say GoPro because I've read that book so many times and I love Eric Worre's invitation steps in that book. But if I had to give a different book for a business, I would say The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace T. Wattles. That really has to do with the mindset and simplification of evolving into attracting wealth into your life. So I consider it a business building tip because 20 years ago, I didn't know any of that stuff. I've had to learn this as I go. So those are my 2 books, You Were Born Rich and The Science of Getting Rich. And I'm looking at my notes here and the questions. Okay, my best building tip. My personal feeling is whatever you have to do to get a sip of Nova coffee in people's mouths, do it. Whatever you have to do to get mind, body, soul in somebody's system for a week with the trilogy sample packs, do it. Because when people experience our products, their lives change. And they have. I've seen so many emotionally impactful experiences from 1 cup of Nova coffee, sometimes 1 taste, 1 sip, okay? So one of the things that I love to do is, when you think about it, giving is a part of life. It's a part of wealth generation. You have to, tithe, you have to give to charities. You want to give, because it's all part of the universal laws, right? You give so you can get, right? There's always got to be that equal balance. Well, when I started thinking about it from the standpoint of, we are so fortunate here with the gift card program, that if you really think about it and break it down, using a gift card to send somebody the Healing Trilogy sample pack, that's $23.75 for a new account, putting a gift card on that, you're only paying about $8. I think it's like $8 and some cents with tax and shipping, right? So I eat that cost. Now, I'm not sending, hundreds of people that every month, but when you have somebody that you've established rapport with, and you really, truly are genuinely coming from a place, and a lot of times I'll tell people, listen, I believe in this so much that if you just agree to take one of the bottles of water you're drinking every single day, add some powder to it and drink it once a day for 7 days, I will send it to you. What is your best mailing address? And I will pay the $8 to send that person a sample pack of the Healing Trilogy. When you get it in their system, things change. We know how good these products are. So don't be afraid to think of it in a different term as far as giving, right? You're giving elsewhere. Why not give to another person and potentially save their life and potentially get somebody in your business as a long-term customer or business builder from doing that? So don't skimp on, giving to get those products into people's systems. Let's see, what's the next question? I wrote these down so many times. Let's see. Best building. Okay, that was my best building tip. All right. One thing you wish you would have known sooner. All right. Everybody talked about value packs and stuff like that. I took it from a different angle because I took it from more of a personal growth angle. Because they tell you in the beginning, that you're going to grow, right? But the thing that I didn't know that no one told me is it's not that you're going to grow. You have to grow as a person. It is not negotiable. And I wish I would have known how much network marketing mirrors life itself. I don't think we think about it in those terms, but when you think about your business, it's like a season. You're going to have springs, you're going to have summers, you're going to have falls, you're going to have winters, you're going to have ups and downs, you're going to have people come, people are going to quit, you're going to have volume go up, volume's going to go down, people that you think are going to be here forever, poof, they're gone, right? It's just like life. And so those things are going to happen. You can predict it and guarantee it. However, the one thing that you can control is your perspective on what's happening, your emotions, and the way you choose to respond to all of that going on. Because expect it, it's going to happen. In the beginning, nobody told me this stuff. They were just financial freedom, products, let's make a lot of money, let's go talk to a bunch of people. And we all did it the wrong way back in the beginning. But that's the one thing I wish I would have known then. I don't know if it would have helped, given the person that I was back then, to mentally prepare myself for what was about to come. But I think, I don't know, maybe something would have sunk in and I would have listened. I wish somebody would have told me just to get out of my own way, because that would have helped. All right, question number 4, advice to give to a new rep. Write this down. Don't quit. Seriously, don't quit. Evolve. Don't quit. And here's why. If you got into network marketing, you did because you're a special person. You have it in your blood. And there's going to be times in your business where you are going to really feel like, what the heck am I doing this for? Like, am I crazy? Right? You're going to want to quit. If you don't want to quit, you're not there yet. But you're going to get to a point where you realize, what on earth would I do if I wasn't doing this? And it's a reality check, because it puts you at a crossroads, because you're too far this way now. You can't go back. Once you've worked for yourself and invested and bet on yourself, to try to go back and work for someone else and conform and follow the rules and not have the freedom and the flexibility, I mean, you just can't. You're too far on the other side. So don't quit. So if you're here because you love this industry and you believe in these products and you believe in the vision of where this company is taking us and leading so many people to healthy, happier lives full of vitality, you can't quit. You just can't, because you're going to regret it the rest of your life. It's better to just put your head down, plug into everything, and focus on the fact that to get where you want to go, you have to evolve. No way around it. You gotta evolve. And my last question about my fictional character, I was so glad nobody took him, but man, I don't even know if this can beat Santa Claus. Charles Xavier, Professor X. So I think growing a business with him in it, just being able to walk into a room and read all the minds and telepathically communicate and instantly know, like, I mean, I could just take him to like an airport. I could take him to like a festival and just let him scan the crowd and be like, okay, those are all green M&Ms. Go talk to them now, because they're already ready. They're primed for an opportunity. They're at the right place at the right time in their life, because, you know, my boy Professor X just figured that out. He could just kind of like point them out to me and just go sign it, you know, just go enroll them, right? So that's who I would pick, is Professor X, Charles Xavier. So, all right, I hope you guys got value from this. Let me look at the comments here. I think we're done. I know we went over just a little bit tonight to try to get all of us in, but I hope you guys got some value. And I am so excited to see, and I'm looking at the participants, I am so excited to see that our wonderful, adorable, you know, Diamond Ambassador Will Sanders truly took the night off, because he deserves it. And, you know, he deserves to have a good time on his vacation. So I'm sure he'll listen to the recording. Send him some love in the chat. But hopefully you guys got as much value as he drops every single Tuesday night. And I appreciate all of the panelists for their stories and their participation with this. And we'll do it again like this sometime soon. But what you experienced tonight is some of the things that we will do at the events. So if this is the first time that you've seen this format where, you know, leaders talk and share their stories and talk and answer different questions, this is some things that you can expect in Denver. So make sure you have your ticket and you're ready to go. So, all righty, everyone. Thank you again so much. We love and appreciate all of you, and have a great evening. All right, bye-bye.